One more thing, because I haven't stuffed enough information into your brain just quite yet today. Uh, a great programming methodology or a great way to handle classes is by putting them in lists. So far I've been creating individual variables for each one. But as you can see here, like if I had 100 cars and like I named them things like my car 1, my car 2, my car 3 in variables. That's a way I could do it. But the problem with that is that now if I want to print information about all 100 cars, I have to use each individual variable name. That's a pain. But what I can do instead, and I'm going to give this one more required variable or um, required parameter, and I'm going to call it str name, and I'll put it into a property called self.strName equals strName. The reason I'm using the same thing here as I do here is that only lives in that zone anyway. So it's basically just lives long enough for me to put it into the permanent property. So I could use a different parameter name here and here and then put it in str name, but why waste names by coming up with extra stuff? So what I'm doing here, instead of this, and I'm going to comment that out so we can look at it while I do this part. Instead of creating individual variables, it's a much more powerful solution if you create a list variable and then you append each object to that list. So if I go licars.append, and then I'm going to call this one car 01, licars. Now remember, I have default arguments here. So each one is just going to come out as 4 wheels and generic, unless I give it something else. Car 02, and let's change this one to you know what I'm doing here? I'm skipping a step. Let me roll it back here just 1 second. So what we're going to do is we are going to append, but then we have to create the object using the class. Okay, so we're going to create the object using the class, and then I'm going to put the name of the car 01. So that creates the class and then puts it in there. And I can go licars append a CL car class again, and then I'm going to call this one car 02, and we'll say this one is going to be a Toyota. We'll just leave the wheels at 4 for now. Let's do another one. Licars append CL car 03 str make equals Ford. Okay, so now I've got 3 cars and they're all on my list. And I can print that list just like this. Okay, so there are my 3 car objects, but that's not very exciting. So if I want to, I can now say self dot name So now when I start the cars, if I want to start all the cars at once, I can say for object car in li cars, object car, start car. So now I can go through and start all the cars at once, just like this, rather than saying individually car 1 start, car 2 start, car 3 start. Think of this in terms of like the employee database application, right? Where we had to have nested dictionaries to store that data. But now, if we created an employee object each time, we could have methods on that employee like do payroll or update vaccinations or employee.fire that, we can do things or give promotion. We can have methods on that belong to that employee, so that all I'd have to do is employee 3 give promotion, and then it does that stuff for us. So it gives us, we're basically upping the power of our programming ability by doing this sort of thing. And so again, to review this code, if I create a class and I have the initialization, just like this is a simple class, it's got no methods except the initialization, it's got int wheels and str make. If I add that to the list by putting it in licars.append, then I have access to all of those things in a very easy way, because I'm combining the power of list with the power of objects.